Hello, and welcome to Manga Mommies.
A podcast where we chat about, you guessed it, mangas, and occasionally our lives as parents.
Nice to meet you all. I'm Kyo,
And I'm Kel.
and we are your host on the show. We hope you're having a great Monday. So please, would you kindly get a drink, take a seat, and let's chat. Welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone had a great weekend. First of all, how was your weekend, Kels?
It's all right. I've been dealing with whatever bug being brought home from school, so if I sound a little nasally and stuffed up, I'm trying. We're gonna get through it.
Feel that 100%.
How about you, Kyo?
I'm doing pretty good. Mine's been a pretty stressful weekend, but as you all had seen last Monday came and there was no podcast up until about Tuesday night. Again, I do apologize for that. It was a mix of issues with the mic on my end and how it originally recorded. It caused me to have to edit everything in less than 36 hours, minus juggling the normal day life with 2 kids under 2. So it was exhausting. 100% my fault. 100% my fault.
Little stressful.
Oh, yeah. But it's okay. I did pretty good, I think, overall.
I am proud of you.
I know. I'm proud of myself. All right, now, secondly, I do have to get a little serious for a moment. Disclaimer, this episode does contain talk of violence, sexual assault, and suicide. Listener discretion is advised. We will be having a link for the suicidal hotline in the description. Here at Manga Mommies, we understand that in recent times, many are struggling, whether it's with mental health, cost of living and eating, thoughts of suicide, emotional distress, PTSD, postpartum, domestic violence, bullying, alcohol or drug use concerns, or you just need someone to talk to. We encourage you to call the hotline or visit your local hospital for help. Remember, you are not alone. It is okay to need or call someone for help. And if they do not listen, please go somewhere else and go speak to somebody else. Your emotions are worth a listen. Do not ever let someone tell you otherwise. Thank you for being with us another day. Okay, Kels, let's move on from the seriousness a little bit and talk about the question of the day. What was your all-time favorite manga and why?
All right. So this one I kind of agonized over a little bit because I have so many that I adore, but I'd have to say the one that I love has to be Your Lie in April. A little bit about the manga. It was written by Naoshi Arakawa. It was published by Kodansha. Demographically, it's shonen, but it falls into the romantic drama genre. Its original runtime was from April 6, 2011 to February 6, 2015, and it has 11 volumes. Kodansha USA translated the series into English for North American release and published the first volume on April 21st of 2015. Little fun fact, by June 2017, the manga had over 5 million copies in circulation and won the award for the best shonen manga at the 37th Kodansha Manga Awards. This manga is based on high school students. It's also a musical and a romantic drama, but you don't have to understand music to fall in love with the plot and the characters. This is one that I did see the anime first, and I fell in love with the heartbreak and bouts of humor that went into reading it, so I had to read the manga afterward. I'll introduce the main characters and explain a little bit about them, though there are more I don't mention here. So we'll start it with Saki Arama. This is the main character, Kosei's mother, who was once a former pianist herself. While she was still alive, she demanded that Kosei practice the score to absolute perfection, and would often beat him severely for making mistakes or not performing well during his concerts. Her methods escalated at one point to where Kosei couldn't even play with his friends. Saki did not at first plan for her son to be a pianist, but after she became aware of his talent and discovers that she has a terminal illness, she decided to give him a strict foundation in piano so that he could make a living after she dies. The next character is Kosei. He is a former child prodigy in piano, known as the human metronome, for his mechanical accuracy, a product of his mother's strict teaching, which was harsh, and although she loved him dearly, he believed that she hated him, and he wished her dead after a nasty beating following a performance. He imagined her ghost haunting him and punishing him for his wish. When his mother dies, Kosei becomes unable to stand the sound of his own piano playing, and he stops. 2 years later, he takes up the piano again after our next character, Kaori Miyazono, persuades him to become her accompanist. Influenced by her emotional and unrestrained playing style, Kosei falls in love with her. Kaori Miyazono is a free-spirited violinist who has been criticized by judging panels for her unwillingness to adhere strictly to the score, but is popular with audiences. Although Kosei never really met Kaori before, Kaori and her parents have always admired him since they first saw him perform. Kaori actually took up the violin, hoping to perform with Kosei one day. Next, we have Kosei's best friends, Tsubaki Sawabe and Ryota Watari. Tsubaki had been best friends with Kosei from the day they were born, growing up together. He tries to convince Kosei to play the piano again, trying to help him move on after his mother's death. Ryota Watari had been friends with Kosei since they were young children. Ryota gives Kosei advice that he can trust, backing him up when he's down, etc. The kind of friends that you would want to have at any point in your life. Ryota is supposedly Kaori's love and constantly acts lovey-dovey with her, which annoys Kosei. Once, a very annoyed Kosei tells Ryota that he is in love with Kaori. Ryota gives him advice on how to get her to like him and boost his confidence. So, as far as the plot for this manga goes, I've sort of explained a little bit about it in telling you a little bit about the characters themselves, but overall the plot is this. Kaori meets Kosei when she asks a classmate to set her up with a boy named Ryota Watari. As their friendship grows, she eventually convinces Kosei to play piano again, first as her accompanist and later in a piano competition. Halfway into the series, it is discovered that she has a medical condition and has undergone multiple surgeries because of it. Throughout their time together, they had many instances in which Kosei slowly gained feelings for Kaori. Each encounter had Kosei realize the importance of himself as a musician, as well as learn more about Kaori and become closer to her, something which eventually flourished into romantic feelings. However, Kosei refuses to confess that he was misled to believe that Kaori was in love with Ryota. When Kaori collapsed on the day of the gala performance due to a sudden paralysis of her legs and received a concussion, Kosei starts to doubt himself again, seeing his mother in Kaori and having both of them be such a huge impact on his life, and both of them were the reason that he played the piano. Kosei starts to give up on music once again, as he blamed music as the one who took away everything that was precious to him. However, after talking to Kaori about not giving up hope at the hospital, Kosei was moved by her words and decided to keep going once more in his last piano competition while Kaori was undergoing surgery. I won't spoil the ending, but this manga definitely had me in tears more than once over the innocent love that they have and the situations that they find themselves in. It's definitely, in my opinion, worth a really good read, as long as you have the emotional bandwidth to do so.
Yeah, actually, I only have I think the first book in the manga. I don't actually have the rest of them for some. I think it was given to me for whatever reason. I need to read the rest of them because I do know that it's really good from what I was told from a lot of people.
Yeah, it is definitely one of those that even just watching the anime of it, it is definitely a tearjerker. It definitely makes you feel and you really become connected with these characters. And there's a decent amount of plot twist that sort of balances out the heavy emotions with the more uplifting positive ones. And I find it's to me it's a feel good manga when I want to go and really connect with a character, or when I'm looking to sort of, I guess, use a manga as a way to sort of release my own frustrations and release my own tension in a healthy way, because I may or may not have tear stained some of those pages at times.
Oh yeah, no, I get that 100%. I have
So
felt that with a lot of mangas. Some of them really get you.
yeah. And it kind of sneaks up on you. Like, you're sitting there and it's one of those cases where it's like, "Oh, everything's going great." And there's only one problem. There's like 100 pages left in this book and you're like, I have a
Yeah.
problem. There's going to be something."
Oh yeah, it's one of those where it's just like crap. It's gonna get to the end, and it's actually one of those where you hope you already have the other manga already out so you can go buy it, because it's gonna be probably the way it ends is
Yes.
like you need it now. And I used to be really bad at be like, no, I have to wait now for it to come out, maybe.
Enough people love it so they continue it, please.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, what is your favorite manga and why, Kyo?
Ooh-wee. Like many, this question is quite a hard question to answer. Because I'm one of those people that just think back on all the manga I've read, and however, I do believe I found one. This manga is rated teen, which would mean 13 and up, which if you already have read this manga or watched the live action before, you know it being rated teen is kind of a surprising given the heavy themes moving forward. So not to trigger anyone who is currently listening, I will be only mentioning the themes which is in the plot and not discussing anything deeper. The manga, however, does talk and somewhat shows what happens. This is a story that is played to be almost like a soap opera. It makes you hold your breath with each turn of the page. Now to the manga in question. It is called Mars. It is written by Fumi Soreo. Its English publisher was Tokyo Pop. It also came out in an English magazine called Smile. The demographic is shoujo. The original run was between February of 1996 to December of 2000. It's got 15 volumes. The plot of the story is Kira Aso and Rei Kishino meet when Rei asks Kira for directions to the local hospital one day in the park. But instead of telling him the directions, she draws him a map and hands it to him without saying a word. On the back of the instructions is a picture Kira drew of a mother and child. On the first day of school, they're both surprised to find that they are in the same class. Later, Rei walks in on their teacher sexually harassing Kira. Rei promises to protect Kira in exchange for the painted version of the sketch that was on the back of the map. He also offers to, quote, lend Kira his body, and she asks him to model for her. Thus the beginning of the relationship that is opposed by the world in general. They draw on their love for each other to heal the wounds that the world has left on them. Rei, the scars of his twin brother's suicide for which he blames himself, and Kira, her hatred of men due to her stepfather raping her when she was in middle school. This manga also has a prequel. This one was added later called Horse with No Name. It was published in 1999. The manga is about Rei and Tetsuya first meeting and how they became friends. This is only one volume, so technically 16 in the whole collection. Oh yeah, spicy.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like an interesting read.
Oh, it is. And it really does play out like a soap opera.
I'm genuinely surprised that that falls under anything to do with teens.
Yeah, it's pretty much like, what is it, coming of age, romance, drama, soap opera. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the ones it's back in 1996, though. 1996 teen ratings was pretty risque. So, but it
That's
doesn't
fair.
really, that's the thing, like, it talks about it and it may do like random flashbacks or stuff, but it's not like hardcore showing a lot of stuff. Now there is different aspects going into it that do show some stuff, but it's not, you kind of get the picture pretty quickly what's going on.
That's fair. That is definitely something that would be part of the book burning from last episode.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I like it so much is because like it handles their situations, I guess, in a light of, you get an understanding of why they are the way they are. And much like with, our manga of the month, it kind of shows that, it can be, you don't have to really forget about it. No. Trying to think of the word here. It doesn't have to constantly weigh on you,
I was gonna say, kind of like you can still remember what happened, but it doesn't have to play into your everyday existence.
Yeah,
You
because
can kinda learn to make peace with it.
yeah, it's one of those things that it happened. You can't change the past, and because that's one of the big things between both characters. They both handle their traumas quite differently from each other, and they both somewhat ignore it until they can't anymore. But then they kind of, because they've been through what they've been through, they listen to the other and they kind of help each other through it.
Which is awesome. Everybody needs a trauma buddy.
Oh yeah.
You're my trauma buddy. You hear so much nonsense. Some shit's going down, I'm like, 1-800-KEO.
Oh, I'm just like, hold on, let me put my ears on.
Like, how many times are you ready to say what the fuck tonight?
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, that is. And I mean, mine, oof, I think I've only like scratched the surface of some of my crap to you.
Yep.
I've gotten in some tangents, I say what.
Yeah. On a completely random side note, I am so glad that the top of my microphone has a top mute button because these sneezes are coming out of nowhere very quickly.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's why you didn't answer for a minute. It's because you were sneezing a fit, and I'd rather not have to act like I need to disinfect my ear later, even though nothing came through. All right, our lovely readers, how about you? What was your all-time favorite manga? Comment and let us know. We'd love to hear it.
If you made it this far in the episode, we want to say thank you. We couldn't do this without your support. If you'd like to subscribe and become an official Manga Mommies member, the link will be in the show notes. For Manga of the Month, the PDF, copy, or free website will be located below. If you feel up to it, like, subscribe, or share our podcast so we can find more people just like you. We hope you have a great rest of your day, whatever time that happens to be, and we can't wait to see you next week.
Stay tuned, and thanks for listening.